The coffee party has become such a big phenomenon in the city right now. There are other people who are trying to duplicate you guys. You guys have just blown up.
We intend on taking it as far as we can.
Matt Campoli is the visionary co-founder of Toronto's Coffee Party,
real estate agent with the agency Toronto,
and a top 2% luxury realtor in Canada.
So I grew up a very non-confident boy. I grew up with a lot of negative belief systems. The classic, people with money suck. At the age of 19, I accidentally became a barber. All these successful people that I followed on social media at the time, they all spoke the same language.
Which is?
Law of attraction, manifestation, or I just see this guy who was called a realtor pull up in his Mustang. I was like, oh, he just pointed out the obvious in the house. Like, oh, kitchen, here's the bedroom, and you guys want the house or not? Bought it. I'm like, that's a job? First year of real estate, but also the first year of my spirituality as well. And I was introduced to spirituality from one of my hair clients.
What did he tell you exactly?
You're an empath.
So you have a life coach, you told me.
Yeah, I have a couple.
Couple?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the life coach is telling you?
Seek nothing, need nothing, have.
I love that. Welcome to Path to Limitless, the podcast that is going to elevate your consciousness and your spirituality and your business at the same time. Today, I have a close friend of mine. He is recently has come to my life, and I'm actually inspired by certain stuff that he does. And I'm here to learn as much as you are from this young entrepreneur, influencer, podcaster, YouTuber, and all of the above. He's been incredible, and I'm happy to call him my friend. And I'm going to ask him a lot of questions, hopefully digging deep to see what really goes behind an internal visions that he has when where is he going to go in life, and hopefully you can take away something nice from it. Matt Campoli, welcome.
Thank you so much.
To our podcast, brother.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
It's an honor being the first. Oh, second.
I'm second. My first date is always my wife.
Do you know what? So to be outside of the most important person to you.
That's right.
I'm number two here.
Yes.
It's an honor.
I'm so happy that you're here.
It's an honor. Yeah.
And one of the biggest reasons I really wanted you to be one of the first ones to come on the podcast is the first time we met, okay? I know you do real estate. You're a serial entrepreneur, as I said. You have your coffee business. We're going to dig into all of that stuff. But what really resonated with me, from you, first of all, your energy, and how you are also a spiritual, and you have a spiritual practices. And Paige and I, we truly believe if somebody wants to become successful in life towards any sort of business they want to have, or relationship, or anything that they want to achieve in life, it starts from their inner core first, okay? You need to have that alignment in you in order for you to get the dreams and aspirations and the vision you want to bring to your life and manifest those humongous goals that you have. So we all believe in something bigger than ourselves, which is source, creator, God, whatever you want to call it. And that allows you to become who you are in order for you to become and achieve those goals. And we had that conversation, and you told me that you are in that path, and that resonated with me a lot right away from the core, from the beginning. And I want everybody to understand that in success is not only one-dimensional. It's not how much money you have in the bank account, or the car that you're driving, or the square footage, or all of that stuff is more of an internal work. And I know you in doing that. So I want you to take me back to where that started for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you come about integrating those spirituality with your own core beliefs and rewriting your subconscious mind in order for you to achieve the big dreams that you're achieving today? And we're going to get into those as well.
Amazing. How far back do you want me to go?
Anywhere you want to go, my man. I'm just going to listen.
Okay. I was born.
Sorry. Not that back.
So, okay. So, quick summary growing up. My parents were divorced. So I grew up with my mom, but super close with both my parents. Love them. They're like my children now. They're my favorite people ever. But so grew up single mother with her, and we grew up in a basement apartment. So she raised me in a basement apartment. So I grew up Just around financial struggle a lot. So I think, like fast forwarding a bit, like in regards to a lot of the reprogramming and rewiring.
Yeah, I want you to talk about that actually. So tell us about that too.
So just like the person I am now is not who that Matt would have been unless I did a ton of, deep diving and engineering with myself. So, growing up in a basement was tough because in Vaughan, it's an affluent area. Like all my friends had big houses, pools, all these things. So I was very embarrassed even to take out the garbage because I was scared if someone saw me walking from the side of my house.
How old were you then?
I was in the basement until I was 17. So, I was in there 9 years old. We moved in there. Before that, kind of hopping around like in Brampton, different apartments, stuff like that. So for me, I had like this whole thing, this whole belief system of like, everyone knows that if people find out I live in a basement, like it's, no one's gonna be my friend, like all these things. Why do my friends have this money? How come they have houses? I don't. So it's always a consistent comparison. So if you can imagine, all that just really crushed my confidence. So I grew up a very non-confident boy.
About money? About
generally speaking.
Okay,
generally. Just even like as little things like, I played hockey my whole life. So being at the hockey arena, and then my dad's a very quiet guy, gentle human. So he's not the most engaged and like outgoing as I would make compared to maybe how I am right now. So I would just see other fathers like becoming friends, amongst the team and doing stuff outside of hockey. And my dad was just there to watch me. And I was like, why are we so different? Like I was always just comparing. So I grew up with a lot of negative belief systems. The classic, like, people with money suck, or, there's negative connotations against the rich, like wealth. So a lot of wealth, a lot of these just patterns of money were just imprinted in me. And then obviously growing up, how we grew up. So for me, the journey really started, I would say, so my mom actually bought a house when I was 23. But I would say the journey for me started at 19. Post high school, no idea what I wanted to do. It was also very difficult because those belief systems, that was me. That's who I was. My identity was all of that childhood at the age of 19.
Were you thinking that you were a victim in circumstances?
I don't think I ever did victim mentality stuff.
Good.
But what I did, I just didn't believe in myself as a result. So, like a funny example would be like my father was like, so what do you want to do? Like, go become an engineer, do this. And I'm like, what do engineers make? He's like, $80,000. I was like, I can't make $80,000. That's a lot of money. There's no way I can do that. Like that was how I was wired. So when I turned 19, a friend of mine introduced me to Rich Dad Poor Dad. So I got introduced to the world of like, I can actually read outside of school text and go into certain things that can help me develop as a human. I was like, okay, this is interesting space. So I started to dive into that. That just, I
How old were
sparked
you then?
curiosity, 19. And then at the same time, this is how everything kind of unfolds and happens for you. But a friend of mine came to me and said, because my mom taught hair and aesthetics in high school. Her background was hairstylist. A lot of my cousins were hairstylists. My family was a lot of hairstylists, owned shops and whatnot. So I had the equipment. So my friend Gabe came to me one day. He's like, hey, do you want to come shave my head? I said, sure, I'll come shave your head. I always had the cool hairstyles, as you can imagine, because my cousins and uncles were,
right.
I was always the guy with the crazy lines and like the color and like, So my friends trusted me to actually do some hair work to them. And then that snowballed into my other friends saying, like, give me a mohawk, do this. So at the age of 19, I accidentally became a barber.
Accidentally?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're like, hey, you, Matt, default, you have the equipment, you have cool hair.
Might as well just do it, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then, at that age, 19, now we starting to venture out into nightclubs at that time. As we go, my friends have decent haircuts from me. And that sparked more conversations in that realm and those spaces. Like, where'd you get a haircut? Matt did it. Matt, how much do you charge? I'm like, I don't charge. But I guess if you want to come, $5,
Okay.
So I started making posts on Facebook. So became a barber as a hobby.
And where were you cutting hairs?
My mom's house.
Okay.
in the laundry room and the basement. So I was in school for history as well. So studying history, no idea what I wanted to do still. Took a year off school, worked construction, got yelled at for $30 an hour every single day. And I was like, right then and there, I just like, okay, clearly I'm doing something. I have my own little business, I guess. I guess this is, I didn't even know what entrepreneurship was. I had no business sense or acumen, zero. I'm like, okay, I guess this is my own business. I guess people pay me and I'm the boss. Okay, this is cool. Do I ever want to get yelled at again? Never in my life. So do I ever want to work for someone again? No. I made that decision pretty early.
Got it.
And so still going throughout school, I'm like, okay, I guess I still have to get a degree, but I don't know what I want to get. So I studied history because I love history. So I at least study something I'm passionate about. What can I do with history? I can teach it. Maybe I'll become a teacher. And then my last year in university, by this time, my barber business had probably close to maybe 150 guys coming to me. So it's good.
Okay.
I was also
And
selling
this is
TVs.
all in the basement of your
all in the basement.
laundry room and the basement. Got it.
Also selling TVs at Best Buy as a part-time thing, which introduced me to sales. I didn't know that stuff. I was like, I enjoy this. I'm like, oh my God, I just made that guy's day by giving him this TV, and I sold him on all this extra stuff he didn't need.
Amazing.
Right?
Yeah. I started from future shopping sales too.
Okay.
It's a long time ago. So
there you go. Yeah. All the services and stuff.
Yes, exactly.
And then so I finished. I volunteered at my mom's school because she's a teacher, and first thing came to my mind is like, how much do teachers like? How much can they really make? So instead of just volunteering, I was asking all of them uncomfortable questions like, how much do you make? What's the max you can make as a teacher? They're like, like after 10 years, you can maybe hit this.
Wow. Okay.
I was like, 10 years. Like by the time I finish teachers college, I'll be like late 30s, and then I'm making this money. I'm like, oh no, I don't think I can do that. Like something else has to happen here. And this is the point of my timeline where my mom finally purchased the house.
Got it.
All this is going on, all this thought process. And when she purchased this house, she forced me out of the house to go with her to the showing. I didn't care at all. I think I was playing video games. So I went, and then I just see this guy who was called a realtor pull up in his Mustang. I was like, oh, okay, this guy looks like he does well. He just pointed out the obvious in the house, like, oh, kitchen, here's the bedroom, and you guys want the house or not? Yes or no? Then my mom bought it. I'm like, that's a job? So I researched
People get paid to do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
like, he just pointed out the kitchen. Like, I can do that.
So there's a lot more to it. But now you understand.
At the
That's
time.
right.
So I was like, okay, I got to research what this job is. And okay, it's a commission-based only. By this point, I had 200 plus clients. All these guys loved coming to me for me. Like I got all this feedback. Obviously, I did a good job on the hair, but they also just loved the jokes. They loved the conversations. They just loved being with me.
Absolutely.
So I became very personable, and I built a lot of skills like that. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to research this real estate thing. I'm like, oh my God, it's no ceiling.
How old were you then?
24.
Got it.
So I love the idea of no ceiling. I'm like, here's a business where I'm working for myself, and I can make as much as I want depending on my output. So I decided, I still had no idea about it. I didn't even know what interest rates were. But when I got my license, and by end of 2016, I had my license, and I remember sitting there and I was like, okay, this is it. Like I was still barbering on the side, but I'm like, I'm all in on this now. I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay.
So that was it.
So then you get into real estate, and how was the first year in real estate for you?
This is the start. This is first year of real estate, but also the first year of my spirituality as well.
Okay.
And I was introduced to spirituality from one of my hair clients. He's like, yeah, I just got into spirituality. I'm like, I don't know what that is. Tell me more. From that led to law of attraction. And I started to really study law of attraction.
So hold on a second before you go further to this. So somebody came. Who told you this?
My friend Blowall.
Okay. And you were cutting his hair?
I was cutting his hair.
So, and what did he tell you exactly?
You're an empath.
Okay.
I'm like, what is that?
Okay. And then he said, get into spirituality.
Yeah.
So and then what did that mean to you?
I just thought about like religion, or like maybe is this a religion? Like I don't know what it was. And then, but I got curious, and I felt like I was interested. So obviously I asked them a lot more questions, and then I realized I had a couple clients like that. So every time they came over, all I wanted to talk about was just pick their brains. And then I started to deep dive by myself.
Did they tell you to read something? Did they tell you to watch somebody?
They all pointed me in a direction.
Okay.
So whether it was a book or a podcast, or YouTube video, The Secret on Netflix.
Okay.
You know, things like that. Then it started to feel really, really cool for me. And life just got like a whole new level of interesting for me.
Okay.
It just unlocked something, right? I'm like, oh, there's way more to life here than, you know? So I'm like, we might as well explore it.
Okay.
There's all this untapped potential, clearly.
Okay.
So why not go for it and explore it all?
So what did you do then?
I just went balls to the wall. I started reading different books, finding different like mentors online, different podcasts, just
And
a lot
why
of
is
self-work.
spirituality? So how does that resonate with you? Okay, by listening to podcasts or watching YouTube video or reading, how does that affect you in terms of your business? How does that work for you?
So I just noticed all these successful people that I followed on social media at the time, they all spoke the same language.
Which
And
is?
this language here, you know, whether it's like law of attraction or manifestation or you know, anything along those lines. I just witnessing the same lingo coming out of this guy. This guy's worth 500 million. This guy's has sold $1 billion company. This. I'm like, these guys are all speaking the same language. Something here is working, right? And that's what really clicked for me. Like, I want to do what these guys are doing.
Got it.
Yeah.
And who was so let's dig into this. Who was the teacher, or who was the person that really, you know, we have those aha moments that we listen to somebody, or we read a book, or there's something that just resonates in your soul and heart, and it just talks to you, right? And those are the moments that I call the aha moments, or your heart is telling you this is the right thing, and whoever is teaching you or you're listening to is telling you what the way of life should be, right? So in my life, it's the same thing. So I had those transitions that I've been always a spiritual from youngest age when I grew up, but it's a choice. It's people have a choice. You could choose to be negative mindset constantly and have thousands of negative thoughts a day, or you have a choice of having positive thoughts and using the law of attraction and all of that. A lot of people don't know about these things, but they don't practice it until they have their aha moment, right? So who was that teacher for you? Who was the person that said, this is the guy that I like and I listen to it, and I'm going to integrate certain practices from my life in order for me to improve and use the law of attraction, use the manifestation, and use, you know, the creator's power to my advantage to better myself or better my life and people around you. Who was that person for you?
I think for me it was a combination of many. I think Think and Grow Rich was a game changer for me.
Napoleon Hill,
just understanding the power of the subconscious. And then there was a guy by the name of Andy Frisella. He's a little more hardcore. He's like, go to work, get shit done. But he's also very much into like, I visualize the interior of my Lamborghini, me getting into the Lamborghini, me touching that steering wheel, me driving this thing like to that level. And I was just taking notes from him. And then when I first started real estate, there was one of the I was doing these 4 a.m. wake ups, Tony Robbins and stuff. So I was doing all these like crazy exercises in the morning and doing all this shit, all this.
Have you gone to any of his seminars?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, he's full of energy.
Yeah.
He's just incredible.
So I was at the office, but I was the first one in the office all the time. And then there was this one guy, George, who saw my Think and Grow Rich on my desk. He's walking by my office and he's like, how many times have you read that? I'm like, I'm still reading it. He's like, oh no, you got to read this thing many, many, many times. Yeah. And he was super well versed in law of attraction, and he was a very top producing agent too.
Interesting.
And one of his mentors was mentored by Bob Proctor. Oh. And then I got introduced to the whole Bob Proctor thing. Yeah. But I think just picking his brain on a daily, and just seeing that just like you could feel it. You know, you feel the energy from like. Yes. I'm like, this is I can get like that too. Look at him, and as a result, he's one of the top producing guys in this office. Here's another clue. Success leaves clues, right? Correct. So it's just like a combination of all these things. And I started to just do deep dives. I really got into like Alan Watts and his philosophies, you know.
I know you message me every time I post something with Alan Watts' voice on it. Yes. You message me. I keep saying I love Alan Watts.
I love Alan. I literally love Alan Watts.
Yeah.
So I just felt really connected. Yes. And like super inspired to want to continue down this path, like really excited. And then things started to happen in my life that just made no sense other than I attracted this, you know?
So are you doing the law of attraction by not thinking about it, or are you actually visualizing about stuff? What is the practice? Are you manifesting anything on purpose? You know, that's the whole part of, you know, law of attraction and all of that stuff. But I want to know, is there a routine that you do? Do you meditate? What do you do?
So it's evolved over the years, but the thing that has remained consistent is the scripting. So I write out, I visualize, but I also write out everything as if I have it. And it's funny because if I go back, I have so many journals I've gone through. Like I have stacks of them.
When did you start this?
I started scripting probably year 1 or 2 of real estate, so 25, I'd say.
Got it.
So almost 10
you've been
years.
doing it for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so I have a lot of journals that are just
awesome.
And then if I go back to the early ones, and you see, like I always started with like the number I wanted to make that year. It made no sense to me. It's a ridiculous number.
Got it.
But that's part of that guy George would tell me, he would see like a number on my whiteboard. He's like, add a 0. I'm like, what are you talking about? Add a 0. I was like,
right.
That's a lot of money, man. He's like, add a 0. I'm like, okay, no problem. I will. So, that's been a very consistent thing. And I've just seen the progression, and I got to a point where my number became so massive. And at the time you feel like a disconnect, and you have to feel confident about it. But I was like, I just feel strongly about this number, and I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I just believe I will one day. And then from that, I then built a house. So I drew out a whole floor plan. So I have a whole floor plan. I have the house. I know exactly who's in the house with me.
Envisioned it, yeah.
Yeah, like I have like I can tell you about each room. I know the finishes in the rooms. I know which cars are in my garage, the colors of them, the interiors of them, and I always have like the same kind of visual of like me coming home. You know, a wife and a daughter for some reason. My dad's in the backyard barbecue. My mom's in the back reading a book. All these things. They're retired because I retired them. And then,
so you're really going ahead in the future.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing? Okay.
Very much ahead in the future. I just don't know how. There's no bridge in my mind currently where I'm at. Now there is, but at the time, like a part of me, like my self-talk would be like, "This is crazy." Like consistency trying to bring me back
is
down.
Is it scaring you? You're dreaming so big that you put a fear in
For
you?
sure,
Is that what
because
it
it's like I can't logically make sense of it in this moment today, like how I'm going to get there. But I started to scrap all those inner thoughts, and I just started to sit there, and like as I would script about it all and draw the floor plan and all these things, I would have the same song playing, whether in my headphones in the background, and it would just spark like more emotion in me, which then I felt more like Joe Dispenza said, like that heart coherence.
That's right.
Like I just felt like a ball of like love and energy.
Yeah.
As I'm writing on them, my writing got bigger. Then I would like start like, you know, drawing, like it's just like a whole like masterpiece.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And now with the same number and the same things and all these, I finally have a clear way of how I can get there.
Got it.
Based on what I'm building.
One of the things that I taught a course about manifestation, okay, and breaking mental barriers, right? Through this course, one of the subject was what you just talked about. Okay, most people, first of all, most people don't know what they want in life. That's the biggest problem. They first have to figure out what they want. Okay?
Yes.
Once you know what you want, then why do you want it? Which comes to your conversation of mind and heart coherence. You know the why is important because you put in emotions about what you want in life, right? And then it goes to how and when. Those are the two factors that is not up to you or me, right? It's up to something bigger, right? Because whatever you want to manifest for yourself, what I've been finding, the universe might have a bigger dream for you than you can ever have for yourself, right?
Huge.
So I believe in that, and I know you believe in that as well. So the what and the why is important. How and when is not up to us. Correct?
There's a level of surrendering.
Yes. You have to let go. You
Yeah.
have to do that. So what is it that you have manifested recently that you perhaps you put a little bit of emotion behind it, you did your vision, you did your dreaming, and once it became to a manifestation point, you said, oh yeah, shit, I really made this out of my own consciousness and my thoughts, and I made it happen. Do you have an example for us you want to share?
Yeah, I think this whole coffee party thing.
Love that. I want to
Yeah.
get into that one too.
Yeah.
Right away.
I think,
okay. So how did that come about?
Just the way it happened, like I was yearning for to build something that I could sell.
Yes.
And again, just in alignment with this figure, and I wasn't attached to like I need this amount of money, but like I just knew I wanted to create generational wealth. And I've done a lot of networking and a lot of like the people that I've met recently in my life that have come into my life, and I've taken note of this. I'm like, I'm meeting a lot of founders right now. A lot of founders. These are guys who have had exits, living the life I want. And so I just started to just notice more and more of these guys coming into my life. Like, okay, I'm like, and start picking their brains. I'm like, I really want to do this, but I don't know what I want to build. So there was certain things I felt like I was trying to force, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is like sellable. Like, can I build this? I'm like, maybe this will work. And a good friend of mine who was actually one of my partners in the coffee party, one of my best friends, Zoe, he's been in like the VC space. He's been building some cool things. And I just go to him and be like, hey man, like I'm really good at marketing. Like you maybe like throw me in one of these, He's like, man, it's like, there's more, you can't just, throw you in them. And then before you know it, the whole coffee party idea came. And I was like, oh my God, this is the thing I'm going to build. This is the thing. And all my skills.
So how did that come about? How did you guys get it started? Yeah, okay.
He called me one day.
Yeah.
And he's like, because he's sober and he's been, he completely switched his life around. And he saw these like little pop-ups in like Europe, like these DJs at coffee shops. And he's like, oh, this is cool. He's like, why don't we do one of these in Toronto? He's like, but let's do like a thing with it, not just like a simple coffee shop. Like let's like create like a platform with it. And then we brought on our two other guys at first, and became three that we thought were strategic and could really help put this thing together. And then within 9 days from like the idea of him calling me to like the actual party is 9 days before the first one.
So the coffee party has become such a big phenomenon in the city right now. And I know there are other people who are trying to duplicate you guys, but you guys have just blown up. And I know for a fact, the reason you're sitting in front of me right now and the reason you joined our family is because of Paige, because of the coffee party.
Yeah, that's very
Paige,
true, actually.
Paige reached
That's literally
Paige reached out to you and said,
That's
hey,
true.
I love what you're doing with the coffee party. And, we'd like to meet you because we are believers of alcohol. It's not good for your body and your mind, right? And any sort of substance is not good.
For sure.
Because you lose that sharpness, you lose that connection with your inner self. And Paige really loved that idea of, listen, you can do parties, you can have fun, and doesn't have to be around substance. It doesn't have to be around alcohol or high or anything like that. And she preaches that constantly on her social media, and I love that for her. And we believe in that. And she said, okay, look what Matt is doing. He's throwing a party, the coffee party, and it's middle of the day, and people are having fun, and you don't have to have alcohol. And I really love that you guys started something this huge, and I really want you guys to become bigger and bigger and more successful about that. But more importantly, the intentions behind doing things is what's important. Okay, listen, I know you believe the same as me. Money is the byproduct of the service you give to others. Okay,
exactly.
So the money is not a be all, do all, have all. It's not that at all. It's a byproduct of you bringing something together. And I believe what you have done with the coffee party and with your team and your friends is bringing communities together, building something for fun, for people perhaps connecting with each other on a different level that doesn't have to be based on substances.
Correct.
Tell me about that. Is that what you guys are visioning about? This thing is happening, coming together so beautifully?
Yeah, for us, it was last summer, one of our partners on the coffee party was doing these run clubs, Jeff. And that's where the idea was a bit of a marriage between what Zoe was seeing and what we saw at the run clubs. We saw 200 plus people come out. These people were so excited, like they had an outlet to like connect outside of maybe a bar or a late night event. And a lot of these people that were coming out are people we haven't even seen before. It's like these people have never it's like they haven't had a reason to leave their house other than the gym or like maybe going for a jog by themselves. Now they found like the run club gave them that sense of community, and it's clearly filling a gap and a need for special people, especially people in Toronto, who are now they're intentionally switching their focus and to interests of wellness, and they're now prioritizing their health, prioritizing their time, right? How they spend their time. And a lot of it is not out in the, late nights or spending 3 days hungover. Yeah. Right. They're very conscious of that. So we noticed like this type of crowd coming, and that was the community we wanted to target. So we said, okay, let's take what nightlife is and why people enjoy it, put that in the morning when people are fresh, top of mind, and let's give them something. Let's give them a pre-workout, so they come, have a bunch of coffee, enjoy, meet some friends, and go to work out. Or post-workout, the original idea was like, imagine you're at the gym, you just finish your workout, we can't really talk at the gym. It's like a thing. It's like etiquette. If someone's, you're there to do something, you wanted to work out,
my headphones are on. Yeah, your headphones on. Yeah, exactly.
But you're focused. Would I maybe value connecting with that guy over there who's also headphones on? For sure. He's at the gym same time as me, every single day, doing the same thing. Looks good. I'm sure he has a cool story or a lot of value he can share with me. But is this the time and the place? No.
This is my time. Yes,
right?
Correct.
So we imagine like, okay, imagine now you start making little connections at the gym and say, okay, we're all done our workout. Let's go to the coffee party. It starts at 11. Yeah. Let's shower and let's go. Right? So we kind of built it around like giving people something that they didn't have, an outlet they didn't have. And that was it. And then did we realize what actually would happen? No. It was literally just like,
where are you guys going to see this going?
Well, we're definitely going to take it. We've already taken it to Miami. We're likely going to do something huge in Vancouver, New York. We have requests everywhere. So like for us, it's like the clues are there from the feedback we're getting to have reach outs from the most random countries and cities, celebrities reaching out to us, like all these things. It's like, again, the success leaves clues. That's right. When we're onto something, or else none of this traction would be happening. So we intend on taking it as far as we can, as big, as wide, as large as we can go with it, without losing its effect and its authenticity. That's right. We don't want to, for the sake of growing fast, we don't want to impact our quality and the experience that we provide people. We're going to maintain that and grow tastefully.
Got it. Yeah. What is your vision for the next 5 to 10 years of your life? You're still young. Yeah. We just chatted before we started. I asked you how old you are. You're 33, man. Yeah, you got a lot of amazing year ahead of you. But how do you see yourself in business world, family world? Where do you see yourself going, in next 5, 10 years?
Just aligning more with that future me. So, just letting it all unfold as it has to, being very aware of things and how things are happening.
Intentional?
Very intentional.
You're intentional, or you're just saying, universe, bring me whatever?
No. Like, again, I have it mapped out. So I have the end goal.
You've been writing it.
Yeah, I have it mapped out. But I'm allowing the universe, I'm surrendering to it to like build the bridge for me. I'm not the type to be like, my next 5 years is going to be exactly like this, because I want to allow for the random things that come into my life, and I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, it's a cool opportunity. Obviously, there's a level of like business sense where we want to be intentional with our time and not let distractions like oh, try this, because I've been there where I've like, I'm working on this thing, and not really getting anywhere. So I understand the importance of that.
What I've been finding also is the art of saying no.
Yes.
So most human beings are people pleasers,
Yeah.
right? So more unfortunately, and it's something they have in their nature, which is nothing wrong with that. But at some point, you need to understand you need to be protective of your energy, and you need to say no to everything that that everything comes your way. Doesn't mean that you have to be part of, right?
For sure.
So and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
But my prime focuses are definitely going to be like, obviously prioritizing my health, my self-development. I'm obsessed with learning. I'm going to continue to grow as a human. The real estate business, continue to grow and do everything I can to excel in that field. And then building both that business and this current business I'm working on. And just, have fun along the way. Like that's going to be the focus. And at the end of things, I want to have like a really cool story to share with people and give back ultimately.
Yes. It's all about serving.
Yeah.
It's all about serving, my friend. At the end, like we were just chatting about our age, right? So I'm 50. So at this stage of my life, it's been always like that, but it's always comes down to serving others, okay? In any way that we can, right? But again, you have to also know the limitations of when to say no to certain things because you have to be protective of your energy as well.
For sure.
But I'm happy with that you have a great head on your shoulder, my man. You're going places, and I strongly believe you're going to be one of the forces to reckon with in anything you put your mind to. And the younger generation perhaps can take away from your tenacity and sense of going after your dreams. That's one of the biggest thing is because it's hard, and I'm sure you worked on yourself when I was the same way. When I came to Canada, came $200 in my pocket, worked my way with $5 an hour, all of that stuff that, I don't call it hardship, I call it learning experiences.
Yeah.
Same thing. But subconsciously, when you put those limitations on yourself, which you had when you were growing up, is what always blocks a lot of people. Right? Those, because it gets recorded subconsciously, I'm not worthy enough. I'm not good enough to dream big, to have the car, the house, the relationship, the love of my life, and serve others. They're not having that. And you've been doing that religiously. Am I correct to assume
I've
that?
hired coaches for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a life coach, you told me.
Yeah, I have a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couple.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the life coach is telling you, and what does she work on? Your life coach on?
So
it's a one-on-one.
Yeah, one-on-one.
Right.
One-on-one. And I've had several I've worked with. I've had one where it was a complete deep dive on just the limiting beliefs, like the core destructive beliefs of I'm not enough, which was mine as an example. And just shedding down like shadow work and stuff like that, just shedding down the layers and going to the root. And that awareness is huge because going about your everyday life, you understand the patterns and how you show up and why. Like, am I triggered this way, etc. Then, I have my other coach, Zark, who big influential figure for me, looked up to him, still look up to him. Now he's just a really good friend of mine. And we do a lot together. He's added a ton of value to my life. And then Patricia, who I met from Zark's retreat, and she really dialed me in on just simply understanding my patterns and why I show up the way I do, and how to be a lot more calm, and focus on staying aligned.
Calm or focus? Which one?
Calm and focused on staying in my alignment.
Okay.
Like understanding what when it comes to saying no, just simply understanding like quickly, does this align with me or not? Like understanding that about myself has become a huge tool versus going back home, thinking about it, talking to this person, like, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Now it's a simple, like, does this align with Matt's life? Yes or no? Right.
Makes sense. So you are, what you're working on with your life coaches, what I'm gathering from you is you're finding the blockages.
Yeah.
You're finding the resistances that from childhood that we all have. We all, have. It's part of life. When you're a human being in this world, in this 3D world, you're about to have challenges, right? And you're finding those blockages through the help of your coaches, and you're getting rid of it. And believe it or not, Matt, that is the whole spirituality.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the essence of being a spiritual, okay? Is finding those blockages, finding those resistances that we put on ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we view the world from our own eyes and our own mind, right? So we find we put those on top of each other, layer after layer, when you're young, until if you wake up, you understand you need to get rid of them. Then you start working on them, which you are doing right now. Is that correct?
And it's always working on it. It's never like you hire the coach, you do 12 weeks with them, and you're fine, and you'll
you have to
never
actually
deal with
work
them
on
again.
yourself.
It's consistent work with yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's like it's a Band-Aid. It can be a Band-Aid, or you can fully heal. You can oil it after you put the Band-Aid on. You can make sure that it closes, and your skin looks amazing after. But it's a consistent work you have to do with yourself. So it's up to you, really, right?
So what I like about our conversation today is this: look, you're full of energy. Okay, I've seen you outside of what our setting is right now. In real estate and your coffee party, you're full of energy. You're young. You're going. You're enthusiastic, which you should be. And today, I'm seeing a different side of Matt. We are hearing a different side of Matt, that he's truly inside what is happening with Matt, that allowing him to have those visions to come to life, and that's what I think ultimately comes to anybody. It's a practice that they need to take. Do you have any mantras? I wanted to ask you the last couple of questions, and we call it call it the amazing podcast together. So do you have any mantras that you use every day? Anything you do, meditate? What do you do?
I mean, just that same visualization every day. It feels amazing for me. And certain things like I have stuff written everywhere. I have sticky notes everywhere. So in my house.
In your apartment?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's like mainly in my office.
Okay.
It used to be a lot
so
more
you
spread
write
out.
affirmations and you stick them in
it's just subconscious.
Right. Okay.
As my computer, all the sticky notes are there. But
what do some of them say? Tell me. Give me some example.
So there's one where it's I'll get back to that one because I'm drawing a blank.
Problem. That's okay.
But I am what I want, and I attract what I am.
Right. That's beautiful.
So if I act as if I am what I want in life, then I'm going to attract how I am.
Correct.
So if I want that thing, I have to align with it energetically.
If you want to be a millionaire, you have to act, talk, be, and embody that millionaire that you want to be now.
Exactly.
Not in the future, correct? That's
exactly.
What you're practicing.
And the other one I'm just recalling now, which is sticky noted everywhere. It's seek nothing, need nothing, have everything.
I love that.
So when you're in a state of not needing anything,
seek nothing.
You're not seeking anything.
Yes.
You have everything.
You don't need anything.
Don't need anything. Don't need to seek anything.
That's right.
That's when you have everything.
That philosophy, what it means to me is because if you're needy or you're seeking things, that means you're coming out of lack, of not having it.
Literally,
right?
yep.
So if you're an abundant person, if you're abundant in life, health, love, full of passion, and you're living your life every day, then you're not seeking anything. You already have everything. Is that right?
Correct.
I love that. Okay, I'm going to take that. I'm going to make that mine.
It's a simple reminder because I'm all stressed. I get to the I got to do all these emails.
Need nothing. I have everything.
Need nothing, seek nothing. I'm like, okay, I'm where I need to be. Let me just be happy in this moment.
Matt, I'm really enjoying my conversation. We can do a lot more of these. I know we can even go further than this.
Yeah.
But I want to be respectful to your time. And any last thoughts you want to have for the audience? Anything you want to share?
I'm excited for your journey on this. I think it's as an now podcast host.
Ex-podcast.
I think you're gonna crush it. I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited for what your guests are gonna.
Where can they find you?
Find value. You can find me on Instagram mainly at Matt Campoli.
Yeah.
And that's everything else is there.
So that's
the landing page. Then you guys can go in your rabbit hole from there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend. You're sharing your wisdom with us today. And so we dug in a little bit deeper than usual. I love that.
Yeah, of course.
We connect
my pleasure.
in a different level.
Yeah, podcasting does that.
Yes.
Podcasting does that. So thank you.
Brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.